Hi friends, Pradeep Pindyala, your buddy. Today I'm going to talk about hypertensive disorders of pregnancy. Friends, the only way to definitely treat a hypertensive disease of pregnancy, which could be preeclampsia, eclampsia, gestational hypertension, is to deliver the fetus. This prevents further development of complications related to the disorder in both the mother as well as the fetus. Now, when this induction of preterm labor should be taken up, the exact timing when to induce labor is dependent on the severity of symptoms related to the hypertensive disease as well as the medical condition of both the mother and the fetus. Generally, in mothers with preeclampsia, labor is induced once the gestational age is more than 37 weeks. In patients with preeclampsia with severe features or eclampsia, labor should be induced once the gestational age is just more than 34 weeks. In patients with gestational hypertension and no other signs of severe disease, labor is generally induced at term. That means you should permit the entire full term baby. In cases where the fetus has not yet reached a safe gestational age, the management is focused on managing the symptoms to give the fetus more time to mature. In women with gestational hypertension, some studies have shown that aspirin can prevent progression of the condition of preeclampsia, the progression of the condition to preeclampsia or eclampsia, and reduce the risk of complications. Pregnant women with chronic hypertension diagnosed before or early in pregnancy should be evaluated to identify the underlying cause of the hypertension. Friends, this is very, very important. And I must tell something about magnesium sulfate. For all hypertensive disorders of pregnancy, a major component of care is management of the associated hypertension. This involves use of antihypertensive medication as well as restricting activity to lower blood pressure to reduce the risk of stroke. In women with preeclampsia or eclampsia, magnesium sulfate is often prescribed to prevent the occurrence of seizures in the gestational parent. Now, treatment should be continued from the time of diagnosis to several weeks postpartum, given the increased risk of medical complication immediately following delivery of the fetus. Now, let's talk about magnesium sulfate. That's my favorite topic. Magnesium sulfate is a magic drug. It's given when there is low blood magnesium. It's given to women with eclampsia. It's also given as a treatment of Torsades de Pointes. It's also given in asthma exacerbation in the form of nebulizer. It's also given safely in constipation and barium poisoning and also lead poisoning. Friends, this amazing drug is nothing but a magic drug, the magnesium sulfate. More about it, I'll come back. But let me tell you, there are 4 classifications of hypertensive disorders in pregnancy. They are preeclampsia, eclampsia, chronic hypertension with superimposed preeclampsia, and gestational hypertension. Gestational hypertension is diagnosed previously in normotensive women who develop elevated blood pressure of more than 140 by 90. I'm sure you would agree. And it should happen after 20 weeks of gestational age. Chronic hypertension is elevated blood pressure even before pregnancy, occurring prior to 20 weeks of gestation or persisting even after 12 weeks after the delivery of the child. That is chronic hypertension. Let me tell you, friends, preeclampsia affects 5 to 10% of pregnant women worldwide. The criteria for diagnosis of preeclampsia is, just now I mentioned, the systolic blood pressure should be more than 140 millimeter mercury and diastolic blood pressure should be more than 90 millimeter. And it should occur after 20 weeks of gestation. The increase in blood pressure is either associated with excess protein in the urine in the form of more than 0.3 grams of protein in 24 hours sample. That means more than 300 milligrams. There will be also thrombocytopenia, platelet less than 1 lakh. There could be renal insufficiency. There could be impaired liver function. There could be cerebral or visual disturbance. As I just mentioned, proteinuria is defined as urinary excretion of around 300 milligram or higher in 24 hours sample. Friends, preeclampsia is a state when, let me tell you the signs and symptoms. Although many pregnant women with high blood pressure do have this problem without serious problems, like high blood pressure can be dangerous for both mother and the baby. Chronic, poorly controlled high blood pressure before or during pregnancy puts a pregnant woman or her baby at risk for problems. Now, what are the risks? Who are the women who can get this problem? Women with chronic hypertension, women who develop high blood pressure or preeclampsia during a previous pregnancy, women who are obese, pregnant women under the age of 20 or more than 40. Usually, primary gravida are usually affected with this problem and who develop preeclampsia and subsequent eclampsia. Women who are pregnant with more than one baby and women with diabetes, kidney disease, and rheumatoid arthritis, lupus, and scleroderma. There is no single test to predict or diagnose preeclampsia. Key signs are increased blood pressure and protein in the urine. I have already mentioned what are the different classification, and I told you something about chronic hypertension. Let me tell you about preeclampsia. It's a medical condition which usually develops after 20 weeks of gestation and traditionally involves both increased blood pressure and proteinuria. There could be thrombocytopenia and elevated levels of creatinine and the increased liver enzyme, and there could develop pulmonary edema as well. And there could be blood or altered vision. Preeclampsia can also present with seizures in the pregnant mother. This case, and it would be diagnosed as eclampsia. Eclampsia is one particularly concerning form of preeclampsia in which pregnant women who previously presented with signs of newly increasing blood pressure begins to experience new generalized seizure or coma. That's really dangerous. The complications could be HELP syndrome. What is this HELP syndrome? This is an acronym, HELLP. HELP syndrome is a type of preeclampsia with severe feature that involves increased hemolysis, increased liver enzymes, and low platelet levels. There could be acute kidney injury and disseminated intravascular coagulation also. While most women with HELP syndrome have high blood pressure and proteinuria, Up to 20% of HELP syndrome cases do not present with these classical signs of preeclampsia. However, like preeclampsia, HELP syndrome can also lead to low birth weight and premature birth of fetus and neonate. Now, preeclampsia superimposed on chronic hypertension. That is a different entity. Preeclampsia superimposed on chronic hypertension occurs when a pregnant woman with chronic hypertension develops signs of preeclampsia. Gestational hypertension is a provisional diagnosis that involves newly increased blood pressure in a pregnant woman that usually develops after 20 weeks of gestation. Gestational hypertension will normally resolve by 12 weeks postpartum after the delivery of the child. The only way to definitely treat a hypertensive disease of pregnancy, as I had just mentioned, is to deliver the fetus. That's very, very essential. And prevention, blood pressure control can be accomplished before pregnancy. Medication can control blood pressure. Certain medications may not be ideal for blood pressure control during pregnancy, such as angiotensin converting enzymes inhibitors and angiotensin 2 receptor antagonists. The effects of high blood pressure during pregnancy vary depending on the disorder and other factors. Some women, however, may be more likely to develop high blood pressure or other heart disease later in life. I hope this was an interesting talk. I hope you have assimilated and got few new points. Thanks for patient listening. This is Colonel Pradeep Pendyala signing off for tonight. Bye-bye. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.